FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
It's not realistic to expect to be smiling and laughing and ecstatically joyful every minute of every day. That's not what this is about. But what it is about is trying to spend as much of our life as possible above the line, in the positives, thriving and flourishing as best we can despite whatever's going on around us. And that means during some tough times, there'll be some negative emotions. And again, one of the greatest myths that I spend a lot of time debunking is that we should be smiling and laughing all the time, that it's inappropriate to experience. Actually, I don't even like calling them negative emotions. That's what, as a clinical psychologist, that's what we were trained to think, that things like depression and stress and anxiety are quote-unquote negative emotions. I don't like that because it somehow implies that they're inappropriate. They're totally appropriate at times. It's perfectly appropriate and normal and understandable. In fact, it's healthy at times to experience sadness, to experience grief, to experience stress or frustration or anger. These are normal human emotions. Now, we don't want them to go too far. We don't want to have too many of these things. And that's what this model, the metaphor that some positive psychologists have used in recent times, is that it's like a sailing ship. Positive emotions are the sails, the beautiful sails that power us forward. But underneath the water is the keel. And we need that for stability. And that's like the negative emotions. We need negative emotions to ground us at times. We can learn from them. They're healthy and appropriate, as I said. But the trick is getting the balance right. And interestingly, 3 or 4 completely different fields of research have all come up with this magic number. They've come at it from completely different angles. And what we now know is that to live a flourishing, thriving life, you don't have to be happy every minute of every day. It's not about experiencing positive emotions all the time. But what we do want to strive towards, as best we can, is to have 3 positive emotions and experiences for every 1 negative one. It's not enough to have 1 to 1. So I think in the past we might have argued that every day, every bad experience you have, if you can counterbalance that with a positive experience, then that'll be okay. We want more than that. We want 3 to 1, and that's what we know. We know that for individuals. We know that in a team context. The same magic number has come up when we've looked at team performance in the workplace. 3 positive comments for every negative comment. If we can do that sort of thing in relationships, in teams, for individuals, then that's what flourishing is about. And there's a few important things about that. Notice, it's not 100 to 1. You know, there's a fine balancing. If you get 100 to 1, that's probably too much of a good thing. And it's not 100 to 0. So again, we need to, and it's appropriate to experience some negative emotions. These are healthy, they're grounding. And that's important to understand. Is that if we don't understand what happiness really is, we can't achieve it. And happiness, although this might sound sort of internally inconsistent, happiness in its truer sense also includes negative emotions, if that makes sense.